Algebra 2, Set 108, Sum and Difference of Two Cubes. If you have two expressions like x squared plus y squared and 9x squared y squared plus 4p squared, we know that those two cannot be factored. But if you have x squared minus y squared, or if you have 9x squared y squared minus 4p squared, we can factor that. And we usually just recognize that they're factorable, and we recognize them as the difference of two squares. So x squared minus y squared is x plus y times x minus y, and 9x squared y squared minus 4p squared becomes 3xy plus 2p and 3xy minus 2p. You pretty much have to recognize them as difference of squares. So today we're going to talk about cubes, and we're going to talk about difference of cubes and sum of cubes. There are a couple of ways to go about this. One is just to memorize the factorable form. If you can't remember the factorable form, you can use long division, but it should be pretty simple to remember the factorable form. Here's using long division just in case. So a cubed plus b cubed divided by a plus b. First of all, a times a squared is a cubed plus a squared b. When we subtract that, we get minus a squared b and bring down the b cubed. So we're going to do minus ab. So we get minus a squared b minus ab squared. So when we subtract, we change the sign. So we get ab squared plus b cubed. So if we multiply by b squared, we get ab squared plus b cubed. Subtract those and we end up with 0. So the factored form is a plus b times the quantity a squared minus ab plus b squared. Now we can do the same thing for a minus b in a cubed minus b cubed. So a goes into a cubed a squared times a squared is a cubed, negative b times a squared is minus a squared b. Subtract, so we change the sign, so we get a squared b minus b cubed. We multiply by ab, so we get a squared b minus ab squared. Subtract and change the signs. ab squared minus b cubed. We multiply by b squared. So a times b squared is ab squared, minus b times b squared is minus b cubed. We subtract and change the signs, so we get 0. So the factorable form of a cubed minus b cubed is a minus b times the quantity a squared plus ab plus b squared. So these are our two forms. And you should notice that it's just a difference of signs. So on the top you have a plus b, on the bottom you have a minus b. And then in the middle term of the second part we have minus ab for a plus b and plus ab for a minus b. Now you can also use any variable you want. So in this time it's f is representing first, t representing thing, and s is representing second. So this is the first thing cubed plus the second thing cubed is going to be the first thing plus the second thing times the quantity first thing squared minus first thing times second thing plus second thing quantity or second thing squared. It also works for the subtraction one. So first thing cubed minus second thing cubed is first thing minus second thing times the quantity first thing squared plus first thing second thing plus second thing squared. So we're going to do an example. Factor x cubed y cubed minus p cubed. So the first thing you need to figure out is what is your thing? What is it that's being cubed? So we can see that we have xy that's being cubed for the first term, and p is being cubed for the second term. So I'm just going to let a be my xy and b be p. So we get xy minus p. So we're using this second equation here. So then we have xy squared plus xy times p plus p squared. So we end up with xy minus p times x squared y squared plus xyp plus p squared. and that is the factored form of x cubed y cubed minus p cubed. Do another example. Factor 8m cubed y to the 6th plus x cubed. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what's being cubed. So it's 2 cubed and m cubed and y squared that are being cubed. And then in the second term, it's x. So using a cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times the quantity a squared minus ab plus b squared. We're letting a be 2my squared and letting b be x. So 2my squared plus x times the quantity 2my squared squared minus 2my squared times x plus x squared. And just do one last step to simplify that out a little bit more. 2my squared plus x times the quantity 4m squared y to the 4th minus 2my squared x plus x squared. Okay, one more example. Factor a to the 12th plus b to the 12th. So the first thing that I notice is we have a to the 4th cubed plus b to the 4th cubed. A to the 4th is my first thing and b to the 4th is my second thing. So we'll use first thing plus second thing times the quantity first thing squared minus first thing second thing plus second thing squared. So my first thing is a to the 4th plus the second thing is b to the 4th. First thing squared, a to the 4th squared minus a to the 4th b to the 4th plus b to the 4th squared, which is b to the 8th. Simplify that so we get a to the 4th plus b to the 4th times the quantity a to the 8th minus a to the 4th b to the 4th plus b to the 8th power. And that is the factorable form of a to the 12th plus b to the 12th.